What's up everybody? Today's video we're going to be completing the LED conversion on the Dodge Viper. So we're going to be doing the front end of the vehicle this time. In the previous video we did the back of the car. JDMAStar gave us all the LEDs to be able to complete the job, and JDMAStar gave us all the LEDs to be able to complete the job in the front of the car. So we're going to get it converted over to LED. I'm sure it's going to look just as good as the back of the car. If you check out this link, I'll put it on above. You can see basically how it looked with the LEDs on the rear of the car, so check out that video if you haven't already, but let's dig into the front of the car now. Okay, so here's a video of how it looked previously. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the video. Here's the light output with the 55 watt HID kit at nighttime, so it's not bad. Could be improved. That's kind of what we got. And this is basically what the rest of the lighting looks like at nighttime. We got the halogen there, and we got the projector, the factory projector. But these factory projectors do kind of suck too. So also what the turn signals look like on this thing, stock. Kind of does this funny thing there back and forth. You can see a little bit better on this side. So we got this back. So we got everything ready to go here. I'm going to show you guys the stuff that JDMAStar has given us. So we have these peanut style bulbs, and those are going to be for here in the side markers. So those are just a simple little peanut style bulb. Then we have the LED kit that we're going to be using on the low beam and high beam. So for this car, 9005 is the low and 9011 is a high, but 9005 and 9011 are interchangeable, so they've gone ahead and given us two 9005 kits to be able to put in the low and high, which is going to be extremely bright. I have no doubts about that. So this is what they look like. They look like a very quality piece. They're fanless, and they have kind of a ballast as well. So these are going to be pretty bright. I can already guarantee you that. So I have no doubts that this thing is going to shine like crazy. And also we have the 3157s in amber, and what we're going to be doing with those is we're going to be replacing these turn signals here. So we'll get out these turn signals, swap those ones out, and everything will be converted to LED. This being an ACR, it actually doesn't have fogs in it, so we just have this plastic fill out panel. But we're going to change out every single bulb in the front. And in order to do that, what we have to do first is, you see these kind of screw things, you have to unscrew these. There's 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, and then inside the fender there's also 3 more, and it holds in this kind of plastic fender liner type panel. Once you get that out, then you're going to see these big wing nuts. So you're going to see 1, 2, and there's one more hiding back here that basically holds the back of the headlight together, so we can pull the headlight off, get to those bulbs, and get everything changed out. But it's pretty simple. I didn't jack up the car. My car is considerably lower than a stock Viper GTS, so mine's actually a lot lower. It has coilovers on it, so, and I still don't have to jack it up to do this job. So pretty good that way. That you know, some of the newer cars you really have to take them completely apart, and even the back of the car we had to take completely apart. But this should be fairly easy to get these bulbs swapped out. Also, to access these, you're gonna see this rubber gasket. Hopefully I can get some light in here for you, but basically just pop that out, stick your hand in there, unscrew the bulb, and it comes out. But first, we're gonna focus on this. Let's go ahead, pop out these 6 tabs so I can take out the fender liner portion, and then we'll go ahead and take off the cover of the back of the headlight. Okay, so there's actually one extra wing nut than I remembered. There's, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's one here, one there, and then the 2 on the back that I was showing you. So let's go ahead and remove all 4 of those wing nuts, not 3, and we'll take it off. So we're now into the meat and potatoes of this thing, and this is where I have the previous 55 watt HID kit in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. I kind of have a few zip ties holding it, but we're gonna be taking out the 55 watt HID kit, of course, in lieu of the LED kit. So let me unplug all this stuff, and then we'll go ahead and start getting the LED back in there. So now we'll go ahead and screw in the JDMAStar kit, and the ballast for this one is a lot smaller, so we're not going to be taking up as much room, which is nice as well. So go ahead and put this in here, get our orientation correct, and lock it in. So there's those low beams. This is the JDMAStar one, LED. And you can basically see it has a very true white, whereas my 6000K 55 watt HID has more of a blue tinge to it. So that's kind of the difference that we have right now. I'm more of a fan of the true white versus the blue tinge, because I just feel like it looks cool, the blue, don't get me wrong, but the true white definitely gives you better visibility, and it's a clean look as well. So let's go ahead and swap over our high beams on this side, and we'll check those out as well compared to the halogen on the passenger side. So just doing some test fitting, I was checking the back cover, and with the cooling fins on that, the back of this JDMAStar bulb, it doesn't clear, unfortunately, the plate that has to go on top. It actually hits, so I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it basically hits on the back cover here. So for the low beam projectors, I don't think we're going to be able to, but fortunately on the high beams there's a ton of clearance. So I think you guys can probably see, and if you can't, I'll get this camera in here. You can probably see there's a ton of clearance on the high beam, which comes out over here. So, but the low beam, it sits right here, extremely close to the cover, and it actually hits. So the low beams we won't be able to change to these specific bulbs that we received, but everything else we should be a go ahead. So let's pop those pop those back out, because you know, I'm not going to cut the back of this because this is an expensive car. But we're not going to cut the back of the plate in order to be able to fit those LEDs, but we will still be able to utilize them for the high beams, which is perfect. I love LEDs for high beams, so because they illuminate very quickly, and that'll work great there. And we'll also swap out this bulb. So let's go ahead, pop that back out, and we'll put it into the high beam and see how that compares. Tell me that doesn't look retro. So let's get this one back in here. Okay, so we got the high beam figured out, and it is an unbelievable difference between the halogen high beam and the JDMAStar LED high beam. So major difference between the two on that. This one is very yellow, whereas this one is a very nice bright white, and you can even see the different colors here. I know this isn't a level surface, but there versus that yellow color. So let's go ahead and swap out the other bulbs. Turn signal is very easy. You just rotate it counterclockwise, pull it out, and you're gonna see this ancient bulb in here. Of course, we're gonna remove this one. I can't do it with one hand, so we'll remove this and we'll swap it. So here's the difference with the LED and the turn signal. You can see the side marker is still halogen versus halogen on this side. I really like how the LED goes, you know, illuminates really quickly and goes out very fast, whereas the halogen is slow to illuminate and slow to go out. So that's I think it makes it just look more modern, the way it kind of illuminates and goes out really quickly. So let's swap out the rest. Now we have this one to swap out, so let's get our hands in there and pull that one out. So we ended up jacking up the car just so we could get a bit more clearance here, or you could take the wheel off, one or the other, but just so you can get your hand into this kind of donut filler plate that's in here. And another thing to mention is the backing plate. It's nice on these headlights. There's a ton of room inside the headlight, so you don't have to drill any holes or anything to bring out any of those ballasts or boxes or anything. You can just kind of strategically plan and tuck them in. I basically put one of them in there and, you know, shoved it down and kind of just tucked everything, zip tied it all up nice. There's not much I can show you because it's kind of hard to see, but it's in there, everything's tight. And basically I shoved my hand in here to get at this bulb. You turn this counterclockwise, and here's this kind of halogen peanut bulb. So we're gonna pull this out and go ahead and put one of these fancy LEDs in there. So let's pop that in and see how it looks. Double check our polarity. Polarity's good, toss it in. So here's the color with the LED in there. It looks very bright and clean. And that is the color, if you guys can tell, of the regular halogen. So let's go ahead, turn on turn signal, see how it looks. Here's what we have with the running lights and the 4-ways on. That's halogen version of it. An LED version. Let's turn off the running lights, see what it looks like. With the running lights off, they both flash at the same time. So you can see how they go on and off very quickly. And there's a halogen version. Okay guys, I got this paneling all pretty much well off, so I'm just gonna rip through this side and then we'll compare what everything looks like. So here's the LEDs all complete now. So you can see we have the LED side marker, LED corner turn signal light, same on this side, LEDs all in the back. I'm just showing you guys during the day. It's gonna be better at night, but at least you can get a general idea. You can see 3 LEDs there and there. And if we go ahead and turn on the actual headlights, I'll turn on the high beams because the low beams we didn't end up being able to utilize the LEDs because the cooling fins were too big, but you can see just how bright the high beams are. These are the high beams here. These are just the LED or HID low beam in the projectors, but you can see just how bright those high beams are beaming out of there. So everything complements each other very nicely. I'm very happy with the way it came out, but let's go ahead and see what it looks like at nighttime. Okay, so here we are at nighttime. There's the rear LED lights that we put in the other video. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. And here is the front, which we just worked on. So at nighttime, these make a huge difference. So right now, we just have the low beams on, but here is what the LEDs look like. We have the amber LED in here, and just a regular LED in here, but very bright, looks great. And as far as illumination goes, it's super bright. I mean, we do have a bit of ambient lighting here, but you can tell the difference. And let me turn on the LED highs because it gets crazy when I turn those on. So if I turn the highs on, it's without the highs, or this with the highs actually. So that's without the highs, with the highs. So you guys can see just how much difference there is with those LED highs. It's insane. Again, with the highs, without the highs, huge difference. And then we'll do some turn signals. So let me turn on the 4-ways. Ridiculously bright, much better. And if I kill the highlights or headlights, there we go. So definitely an improvement over stock, guys. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe because there's a lot more other videos on here. And also check out our Instagram channel at BoostedMotorsports because we got a lot going on there as well. But I think overall it turned out great. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below as always, but we'll see you on the next video. Take care.